Scores of irate students of Simon Technical Vocational Institute, ASTEC, who have had enough of everyday challenges impeding their studies, demand immediate completion of an abandoned Eblock project. The students in their uniforms and red bands would have nothing stop them after walking quite a distance to petition Municipal Chief Executive and seek answers over the delayed project. They say completing the project will enhance academics after occupying temporal structures since 2018. Tema correspondent Kwame Yanka has more in the following report.
Current location of Simon Technical Vocational Institute, government did not have any technical school in the area. This meant that students, after their basic education, had to receive training at Don Bosco Technical Institute through a special arrangement between government and the institute. However, in 2018, the arrangement between the two ended, with government taking steps to run a technical school. ASTEC at the time was handed some structures of the cluster of schools at Lebanon Tree Block to accommodate students who were to be relocated to the Eblock at Community 22. After years of no completion in sight and other challenges, the students stormed Ashaman Municipal Assembly. They have been sharing some challenges facing their school.
Place factor is not very big, so even without the installation, 1B, the catering and hospitality, they are all under the tent at the back of the school, but the noise even. And we are also mixed with a junior high school, with a primary school and a Montessori school. So the noise is even distracting. The noise distracts lesson a lot.
Class like installation, PC, building and construction, auto, fashion, catering, they don't have classrooms, and because of that, they learn under the shade.
But I am in fashion too, in our department. We don't have a table for practicals. If you have practicals, we have to go out and wait, or we have to place our brown papers on the floor before drafting and all this. And other departments, business like this, they are learning in the canteen.
In my department, we have three courses running at the same time. We have the business ICT, business secretariat, and then business accounting. And looking at all these three courses, we have only one classroom. When it is time for our electives, then that means some need to go out.
After more than an hour of meeting the students' leadership, the parties decided to have the petition presented in the presence of all the students. Girls Prefect of ASTEC, Sani Mariam, presented their petition to the Education Director, who then handed it over to the Municipal Planner to receive it on behalf of the Municipal Chief Executive, Albert Ochre. Education Director Clifford Henekubudu assured the students that the Directorate will work around the clock to ensure their demands are met.
The fact that they saw they have a need and then they didn't resort to violence, but then they took the democratic course of marching all the way from their schools to come and make a presentation of their petition to the Municipal Chief Executive through me. Now, the summation of the whole thing is that the school, I came here about 1 year ago and I came to see a beautiful edifice in the form of a block being built. Now, in the 1 year, I haven't seen anything added to whatever I came to meet. It's such a beautiful edifice which, when worked upon, will help the situation of our children. Now, you won't believe that as a technical school of their stature, they have now had to run shifts, which is not good at all for any senior high school, any technical school in the country at this point to do. We have had assurances right in their presence. We had a call where we were assured that everything has been completed for the project to be visited in about a month's time.
The students are hopeful authorities will act this time around. Kwame Yanke's report for JoyNews.
Now, NDC flag bearer hopeful Dr. Kwabena Dufo says he's in the race to bring prosperity to all Ghanaians if eventually elected as president. Now, he is set to pick his nomination forms this morning and will become the third to have done so as the opposition party prepares to hold its primaries later in the year. Dr. Dufo earlier spoke to my colleague Joseph Akable on his ambitions.
I think I've talked about a dream, a Ghanaian dream, before. My personal view is that every Ghanaian, no matter the birth of his or her circumstances, should have equal opportunity in our system to achieve whatever he or she wants to achieve. I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing that. That dream will bring about prosperity and happiness. That dream will make all of us become very patriotic. That dream will make us be loyal to Ghana, our motherland, not to any political party or to any individual. Because we're not loyal to our nation, because we're not very patriotic enough, there's so much confusion in our system now.
We understand from the grapevine that you'll be picking up your form sometime in the coming week.
That is true. I'm ready to pick my form to contest for the flag bearership of the great NDC.
I mean, what can, I mean, if you're asked to, I mean, one message to the members of the NDC who will be hearing, I mean, I'm assuming a number of them, a good number would obviously know that Dr. Dufo has been around for a while and will be putting his heart in the race. I mean, what would be that one message to them that you think that will convince them to know that this is, I mean, someone that they can put their trust in? Because for many political analysts, I mean, the view is that this will be a very difficult race for you to emerge victorious from, especially because of the stature of the former president, who is very likely to also pick a form at some point in time as well.
In the contest, there's nothing like that. I would ask them to help me fix the economy. Right now, the biggest challenge we are facing is the economy. We are all hungry. We are hungry as people. There are tears in the eyes of Ghanaians everywhere. They should help me wipe the tears from the eyes of Ghanaians, soothe the pain in the hearts of Ghanaians. That requires a leader with the courage to change things, to change the status quo. That's what I will do. I'll ask my colleagues to help me do that. No one person solves a problem. And no one person is big enough to do anything. That's why in the Bible, the Creator himself, when he was creating a man, said, let us create what? Let us. The Bible, the Lord never said, I. No, he said, let us. He could have made man himself, but he said, let us create a man in our own image. What was the meaning? I want the NDC people to join me. We should all move forward, fix the economy, work together for the prosperity of this nation.
Now let's take you to the NDC's headquarters in Accra, where the supporters of Dr. Kwabena Dufo have amassed there to pick nominations on his behalf. My colleague Samuel Mbra is joining us from the headquarters with more on this. Run us through what's happening there now.
At the moment, the supporters of Dr. Kwabena Dufo are at the party head office here of the NDC, and they are waiting for the main team that has been sent by Dr. Dufo to come and pick the nomination forms. And what will happen is that they would march to his campaign office at Osu, and that is what is going to happen today. So as you can see in the visuals, these are some of the party supporters that have been bused in the minibuses to the NDC party office here at Abraka. So he's so far the only candidate that we know would be picking nominations today. Yesterday, the committee told us that he and Kojo Owusu were supposed to pick their forms today, but Kojo Owusu had some people coming to pick the forms on his behalf, so he will not be coming today. So far we have about 3 candidates picking their forms. Dr. Dufo will add it to make it 4. We already have the former President John Mahama picking his form, and that was done on his behalf by Professor Joshua Alabi. We had a new contestant to one Ernest Kweku Kobia from the Ashanti region, and Dr. Dufo is expected to come and pick his nomination form. So it's actually a charged atmosphere, as you can see. Some of the supporters singing songs, holding his flyers about, indicating their massive support for Dr. Kwabena Dufo. So the team, I'm talking about the elections committee, is already set at the conference room, waiting for the team to arrive so that they will submit their check, and then they will give them the receipt and the nomination form. So, Brace, for now, what we can report is that the supporters of Dr. Kwabena Dufo are here at the party office of the NDC, and we are expecting his main campaign team to come and present their check, and then they will be given the nomination forms if there are no issues arising from the committee.
Headquarters of the NDC, where we see the supporters of Dr. Kwabena Dufo thronging in to pick the nomination form. So we'll still be there to bring you all the update in our subsequent bulletins. But for now, a youth group in the National Democratic Congress calling themselves Youth for Jasau 2024 is urging members of the party in the Wa East constituency to retain the incumbent member of parliament for Wa East, Dr. Godfrey Jasau, as the party's candidate for the 2024 general election. Convener of the group, Adams Shaibu, notes that the 2-year stint of the legislator has changed and bettered the lives of the people. Another report by Rafiq Salam.
The membership of the youth group for the 2024 drawn from all wards and branches of the National Democratic Congress NDC in the Wise constituency first engaged in a cleanup exercise in the Mano community amid plasma music. They later convened at the Mango Traditional Council, where they were addressed by the leadership of the group. Speaker after speaker touted the achievements of the incumbent member of parliament, Dr. Godfrey Jasau, ranging from education, health, roads, and social engagement, and why the need to vote to retain him as the party's parliamentary candidate for the 2024 general election.
I know one guy from the Rogo Enclave. This guy finished his secondary education somewhere 2015. Because he has lacked to get 1 or 2 of his papers, this guy sat in the house for almost 5-6 years. The MP came, we went around that enclave. The MP saw the guy there. The guy explained his situation to the MP. The MP brought the guy to Wa. He hired accommodation to the guy. The guy went and bettered his papers. Now the guy is at training college.
We've learned a lot of women how to produce liquid soap on their own. We've gone through almost all the communities in Wise District to take them through how to do liquid soap on their own. And besides, he also helped most women, especially those that are single parents, to farm for them and during the farming season.
He's been able to renovate a very deplorable clinic that was not in function at Motugu. Currently is functional. When you go to the 4C zone, we are putting all effort, or he's putting all effort to make sure that any community without health facility, they have facility. Example is the Jumo, that he's trying to do all that.
Launching the Dr. Jasau Roadshow project, convener of the group, Adamu Shaibu, enumerated some of the good works of the Wise legislature before handing over a cash amount to the representative of the MP to enable the latter pay for the nomination form and part of the filing fees.
And in showing our support for the good works of our MP, have opted to pay for the nomination fee of 5,000 Ghana cedis for Dr. Godfrey and also pay an amount of 25,000 Ghana cedis to support the filing fee for him to contest in the upcoming NDC primaries, scheduled for the 13th of May 2023. We are optimistic that the delegates of the NDC will renew his mandate by granting him victory, inshallah, to retain the seat for the NDC and to continue developing the constituency.
Conveners of the Dr. Jesau Road project says they will replicate the launch of the Roadshow project in other communities in the Wise constituency. Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam, Manwe.
Away from politics, now, 2 people have been killed and 5 others injured, including a military officer in a communal violence this morning at Wencheke in the Shrepone district. The violence is said to have spread to 6 other communities. Scores of houses and household granaries have reportedly been set ablaze, with dozens of residents fleeing towards the district capital. Now, we are keeping tabs on this particular story, and we'll be going to our man on the beat, Eliasu Tanko, who's been monitoring development in that part of, country. He's joining us live now on Zoom. Eliasu, you've been monitoring how things are going. Can you give us details of this particular incident? Eliasu, I want to understand the details of what's been happening. People dying now. What at all is happening? Okay. All right. Eliasu, so I wanted to find out from you, what the details of this particular incident are.
Well, the report we are receiving from the Wencheke community is that there's an outbreak of communal violence in the community, which, as we speak, is fast spreading. We understand 6 more other communities have joined in this particular violence. It started in Wencheke, which is about a few kilometers from the Shrepone district capital, where we understand the chief there this morning and skinned a sub-chief in that particular area. And we already know that the Wencheke chief, there have been a chieftaincy dispute in the Wencheke community itself. Last year, if you remember, after the enskinment of the chief of the community in Yendi, military officers had to escort the chief and his sympathizers back to the community. And since then, there have been tensions among these feuding royal families in that particular community. And as we understand it this morning, that particular tension spiraled out of control. And we are now learning of multiple deaths and multiple injuries, including a military officer there. So we have been able to confirm that 2 persons are currently dead at the Shrepone hospital, where 5 or 4 more people are also currently receiving treatment.
So does this 2 or do these 2 add on to the already dead ones that we know of?
Yes, this is for now, this is the number that we have been able to confirm from our sources at the hospital, currently the Shrepone hospital. We can confirm 2 dead at the hospital currently, including about 5 people injured in addition to a military officer. Okay.
Now, we've recently been talking about what has been happening in Nalerigu and Boko. How related is this to those particular incidents?
This is happening in a different jurisdiction. Although this is also a chieftaincy issue, but it is quite different from what is happening in Nalerigu and Boko. This has to do with 2 Chekosi tribes who are fighting over this chieftaincy title in that particular area. So this is quite different from what is happening in Nalerigu and Boko. But of course, it has almost similar security implications. And as we understand, more houses are being burnt in this particular violence this morning. And my sources with the police indicate that some deployment have been made to ensure that this violence is quelled.
Okay. If a military man is part of those who have passed on, do we take it that the military has already have presence in that community, or were they sent there to try and ensure peace prevails? That's how come this military person lost his life?
Well, since the tension last year, there have been military stationed in the Chereponi area. And as you know, the Wenchike community is just a handshaking distance from Chereponi. So we guess that this particular military rush from the Chereponi community to that particular area. And it is a similar incidents have been happening anytime there's a conflict in that area. Sometimes the military are fired at or they are shot at and they have to exchange fire. So although we do not know in this particular instance what have caused the injuries of the military, but we still know that there's still some violence happening in that particular area as we speak.
You are in that part of the country, you understand the place better than most of us. Kindly let us understand how this community is like. What sort of community are we talking about? Okay, so that's the latest coming from the Chereponi area. We'll be keeping tabs on that as well. Now, to other stories now, and the government of the Federal Republic of Germany says it is prepared to help Ghana restructure its external debt only if some internal conditions are met. President Akufo-Addo a fortnight ago appealed to German Finance Minister Christian Lindner to convince China to accept the country's proposal for debt forgiveness. In less than 48 hours, Ghana's Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta is leading a government delegation to the Asian country to restructure $1.7 billion out of a total of $5 billion debt that we owe. Now, responding to the questions on whether Germany will use its diplomatic relations to help Ghana upon President Akufo-Addo's request, German ambassador to Ghana, Daniel Kroll, in a yet-to-be-aired interview on Foreign Affairs, told host Blessed Soga that a lot of political commitment is needed to fulfill the conditions that will make the Paris Club forgive Ghana its external debt.
Giving your own challenges, unique challenges that you're facing as a result of the Russian-Ukraine war, the Nord Stream 2 obviously suffered an impact as a result of this conflict. So given the situation, do you share the same view that you're not in a position to help in the economic recovery of some African countries and allies of yours, such as Ghana?
You mentioned the visit of our Minister of Finance, who recently had talks in Ghana, and his message was clearly, yes, we are prepared to help,
right.
But we are prepared to help only if certain conditions are met. First of all, we insist that those measures that can be taken here in this country have to be taken. The second condition is that yes, we are willing to take our share of responsibility as one of the major bilateral donors to Ghana, but only if all the others also join in this effort. And there is a multilateral framework that was set up exactly for these kind of crises, and we urge and try to convince all stakeholders in this process to stick to this agreed framework. It's the G20 common framework.
But that framework, I'm afraid, Mr. Ambassador, is facing some setback, especially on the part of China. Our president was very categorical in that statement when he engaged the finance minister from your country. He's asking for the help of Germany to navigate that hurdle with China when it comes to the Paris Club. Practically, what's your country going to do in that regard to help?
Well, I think we all have to try to convince China also to take its share in this process. China is the largest bilateral donor to Ghana. So China has to be part of the solution. Now Ghana has its means to convince China to do that. We, Germany, will also use our channels to convince that it is in our common interest that we all agree on a way forward, including in the interests of China. So this is the only way we can try to get China to the table. Your president is rightly referring to the case of Zambia, where it took very, very long until China in the end agreed to come to the table. We hope that this time, with a concerted effort, we might be capable of convincing China to shorten this process, because time is of the essence in the case of Ghana.
When you were speaking, you talked about some internal mechanisms that as a country we could deploy as our side of the bargain, just to complement your efforts from the international community. And looking back, looking at the country where we were rising economically and now there's a downturn, how do you feel we could be fulfilling our side of the bargain as part of the internal conditions you feel we could be meeting?
Let me point to three elements. Right. The biggest loss maker in Ghana is the energy sector. In this sector alone, each year 1.5 billion new debt is piled up. Wow. So if that is not solved, then you can ask the IMF for 10 billion. You still will not solve the problem in the medium term. So there has to be an answer in Ghana to the 50% technical and non-technical losses in the energy sector. If that is not resolved, I don't see how we can find a sustainable solution for the financial problems of the country. The second part is on the other side of the budget, and that is the revenues. Ghana has one of the lowest tax to GDP ratios, not even 13%. So we have been cooperating with the local authorities and setting up a very smart system of property tax collection. So I think that is an important way forward, and this has to be done, and processes and decision making has to be faster to meet the goals, to be able to meet the targets that have been agreed with the IMF. And the third point I want to raise is that I'm still amazed on the procedures for how the budget is set up and how difficult it is to get it under.
Now, the German government is urging Ghanaian authorities and industries to work to eliminate child labor and increase vigilance in the enforcement of fair wages, particularly in the textile and cocoa industries. Companies in Ghana and Africa at large may be excluded from the supply chain if they are found breaching the law. Michael Ashley has more in the following report.
The German government passed the German Supply Chain Due Diligence Law, which mandates companies to improve the protection of human rights in the global supply chain and, among other things, to prevent child labor and to ban substances that are harmful to people and the environment. Since January 2023, that law took effect. The German Ministers for Labor and Economic Cooperation visited Ghana to inspect some of the manufacturers that export to Germany. Textiles production company KAD Manufacturing is one of many companies they visited.
Everything we're producing here is exported, and so you see it on the main shop floors like Nordstrom, like Macy's, online, Amazon. So these are products that compare to any other from anywhere in the world.
Linda Ya Ampa is the CEO of KAD Manufacturing Company.
Our workforce, mainly women, over 90% of our workforce, as you can see, our women, expect us to be able to produce and match what you see in Asia. A lot of them started like this. So with the right kinds of support, like what we see from the German corporation, we're able to get training for our staff, middle management, all sorts of technical training. So with that, we should be able to produce for the local market, sell on the market just like any other product you see from Asia or anywhere else.
According to the Minister for Economic Development, Senna Shoes, companies are expected to improve the protection of human rights.
Here we are at the beginning of the due diligence, and we see that it is possible to do the work for textile with fair wages, with social protection for the workers, and that the one who doing that here still making their business. They still earn money with that. And with what we're doing in Germany with our law, we try to make a level playing field for such investors as we see here in Ghana, with fair wages, with social protection, because the ones who do not that way, they should skip out the market, and this kind of taking care for workers, avoid child labor. That is what we want to see in the future, and that is what the people here in Ghana want and what we want in Germany.
Companies in Ghana may be excluded from the supply chain if they are found breaching the law. For JoyNews, Michael Ashale.
Let's take you to the Upper West region, where a resident of Wolowiri can now breathe a sigh of relief following the commissioning of a mechanized solar borehole for the community by World Vision. 2 persons from the community lost their lives through waterborne disease as a result of unhygienic water. Students are also losing contact hours because they go in search of potable water. Correspondent Traffic Salam reports.
Wolowiri is an outlandish farming community located in the West district of the Upper West region. It is one of 226 communities in the district with a population of little over 2,000 people. Residents at Wolowiri has maze of challenges. Chief among them, according to the assemblyman of the Bulu electoral area, which also includes Wolowiri, is lack of potable water. Chieto Moses says residents in the community struggle and compete on a daily basis with their animals in order to get access to potable water. On one occasion, it became fatal.
They will not have any single borehole, and they have to go to the streams or valleys to compete with the animals. And that time, we were having this disease called FM. And so anytime they go there, they drink the water, and they can get that particular disease. And out of that, 2 people die in that community. And some years ago, they were able to have only single one borehole. And that one, it was a competition between the community members. And when they go there, because the borehole is only one, they normally fight among themselves and create immunity among the community members.
Pupils in the community are not left out either. Francisca Tulonye shared their frustration.
There was a time that we don't have, we will not get water and bath go to school. So at that time, every student didn't go to school at that day because of water. So at that day, we all absent from school.
All will however be a thing of the past following the commissioning of a solar mechanized borehole for the community by World Vision. It is valued at 268,000 Ghana cedis and comprised of the borehole, submersible pump, and its accessories, solar panels, concrete structure, tank, pipe networks, and pipes.
Well, World Vision started working here about 4 years ago in what we call an area development program. And as you know, World Vision, our goal is to reach the most vulnerable and deprived populations. We're here today because the people here were suffering. Women were walking hours and not able to find good potable water. The children in the households were sick. Husbands couldn't go to farm. So we saw a great need to put in this solar mechanized borehole. Not only does it provide one water point, but we're providing water to 3 different locations in the community.
West Africa World Vision International leader Carla Denizat, joined by the West District Chief Executive Vade Durute commissioned the water facility.
Encourage you to maintain that team effort, that teamwork, so that this mechanized well can last for generations to come, and that many more of these wells can come to this community. But it will only be possible if all of you work together as a team to ensure that every single person that needs water gets water in this community.
What was District Chief Executive Vade Durute was thanking World Vision for the solar mechanized borehole, urged them to expand the facility to the other half of the community to enable more people benefit from the project.
If they have potable water, they will be able to do dry season gardening. They will be able to do dry season gardening, thereby adding more nutritious value to the food that they give to the children. We know that when a child eats properly, the brain too works properly. So if this water project is extended far, it will go a long way to help the parents of the women, particularly the women of this community, to do dry season gardening, whereby they will grow vegetables, tomatoes, and whatnot, to always make the meal nutritious for the children.
Francisca Tulunye is excited and some of the benefit the people will derive from the project.
This water helps us to go to school early. It also helps our parents to cook good food for us to eat to prevent diseases.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam, Wolowiri.
Now, children at the New Life Children's Home in Nungwa are appealing for help to complete an ongoing school building project in the home. According to the children, they used to have a school in the children's home, but due to the lack of resources, they have to send them to a government school. The children made the appeal when teachers and students of the Primus Hybrid School made a donation to the home. Now, there's more in the following report.
The New Life Children's Home has been in operation for the past 23 years. The children indicate that, for lack of resources, they have to be sent to a government school. However, Primus Hybrid School, a private basic school in Accra, as part of their second-year anniversary celebration, donated items including toiletries, raw and packaged food, assorted drinks, and used clothes to the home to aid in its smooth running. The Chief Executive Officer of Primus Hybrid School, Kwadwo Owusu Afriyie, expressed gratitude to parents who supported the exercise, saying the move is a way of teaching their students the virtue of giving.
And Primus Hybrid School is 2 years. So as part of our second anniversary celebration, we decided to pay them a visit on this occasion. There's no age limit as to when somebody can start to show care or to show love. Let's teach the children at a tender age to show care, to learn to share. Sometimes they may have so much and they think that is the end of it. They don't even know how to share. Most of our kids are selfish because we've not taught them to really give out. So they try to hoard. But this is an occasion to let all Ghanaians, and especially our students, know that as early as 3, as early as 5, you can donate, you can share to the less privileged. And through that, God is going to bless you.
The founder of the home, Ni Afotebuche, says they are happy with the kind gesture by the school.
We are grateful to the school for their wonderful gesture. For some time, things have not been easy for us, but we believe what they brought today will also help us to take us.
So let's take you back to the NDC headquarters in Adabraka, where the team representing Dr. Kwabena Dufo are set picking nominations on his behalf. Let's cross over there now.
When you came, I told you that I, together with all Ghanaians, we have been overpowered by the stench of corruption that has engulfed this nation on the Dufo. And we know he's a competent NDC man who can take us out of it. provided he gets the votes of the delegates. Is that not so?
Yes, sir.
So without much further ado, my name is Kakri Samoa. I'm the Director of Communications for the NDC. For this event, I'm the Chairman of the Elections Committee. I'm here with some of my members. At the far end, you know him. Antonio, you know him?
Yes, I do.
You know him?
Yes. Yeah.
Akogan?
Yeah.
Good. He's the Deputy National Communications Officer. Followed by Honorable Benjamin Kojo. I hope you know him.
Yes.
Okay. And then this is Daniel Amati Mensah. I hope you know him.
I do.
And then this is Mad Jibril. You remember him?
I do.
Good. Then starting from there is Obi. Everybody calls her Obi. You know her?
I know her, yeah.
And then this man, you know him?
Very well.
Are you sure?
Very well. Very well. Very well.
And then you know this one?
Yes, I do.
What's her name?
I don't know the name, but I know the face.
You know her face?
Yes.
As an old veteran member of our party?
Yeah.
Very well. As I said, my name is Kapisa. What brings you here?
Thank you very much, Senior Kaka. Just a moment, please.
No.
Okay. With me here is the youthful team and women for the team of Dr. Kwabena Dufo. My name is Antonio Edem Asinyo, the spokesperson for Dr. Dufo in the campaign. With me here is the regional women organizer for Ashanti region. I'll let her introduce herself, then our colleagues will take up.
Gloria Huze, Ashanti regional women organizer.
Gloria
Huze.
Very well. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Eugene Eshen Elliott, Kolekote constituency secretary.
Thank you. Thank you.
The host constituency.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know me?
Yes, we are hosting you.
Thank you. Please go ahead. Nobody else.
Beatrice Ademono, branch women organizer.
But this one is
No, I just.
This very well. Madam.
May I recommend woman organizer, branch woman organizer.
Where? Just very well.
I'm about Minister for South.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. At this point, I'll just hand over to the grassroots led by Gloria to lead the picking of the forms.
Very well. We are supposed to bring us something before we also give you something. So what did you bring us? Thank you very much. Please sit. Let my people look at it.
Auditor check.
Yes. This is Aya. How much is it? 30,000. We'll give you the forms. But before we do so, I'm asking a member of the committee, Honorable Amati Mensah, to explain a few things to you. Then I'll hand it over to you. Speak loudly.
This is the election guidelines for the presidential election. This is the document that is the filling of the forms. The form comes in duplicates. This one step, this second step, and this third step. It contains the presidential nomination form. This is the form. And this is the endorsement form. It has been designed in such a way that you can easily carry it to the system later. So I want you to check. We are presenting it to you to know that the form we are giving you will take the system readings. Yesterday, we have information after we have presented. This Ashanti region. Ashanti region is 2. For all the system, all the 47 constituencies, you need one person from each constituency. This one is our. This normal
Don't go through. If there's a problem, they never come. Oh, no. If there's a problem, they come back. We are here. We are all brothers.
And this is a jacket for the regional rounds.
So, Antonio, Auntie Gloria. Auntie Gloria. Okay. Please ensure that the aspirant fills out the forms correctly, fully, faithfully, and loyally, and bring it back to us a month today. And when you bring it, you shall have a vetting committee that will vet him. If he passes the test, you take part May 13. If God is good to him and he wins, he will represent all of us. Amen. We need a champion. So tell your man that we need a champion. Thank you very much. Thank you. If you want to speak, Ghanaians. You understand what I'm saying? It's language. Sit down, sit down. This is your office. Yes. You have come home.
Before your bedam was say Ashanti Regional Women's Swing. And you decide this year, you better form some your papa, Dr. Kwabena Dufo. And I buy and so, what do you my? See, we dear dance, you say, NDC party, you say Democratic Party, Ampa. Yadama say, and ye, what do you my? You be my papa, Dr. Kwabena Dufo Saka. Na obey bibi anso pepepe yes ade aba abetumanim na mo hwehwe mu wia minim se nyame ne pa enkunimdie beba na enkunimdie no so ba Yendi na adi nkunimdie esa se ekon kese na da enim 2024 no ehia kokoduro ye do akoko etina ma ya sorry e ma na ye brekese e grassroots enti ye ba ni aba beboa ye da mo ase nyame hira mo se mo age ye fe so
Thank you.
Okay, so what you see on your screens now is the team for representing Dr. Kwabena Dufo picking the forms on his behalf. We understand that they will leave from the headquarters in Adabraka and head to his campaign office in Osu to present the forms to him. So that is what it is now. So yesterday we had the former President John Roman Mahama picking, Asante Kobe also picked. We understand that Kojo was also picked, and today Dr. Dufo has picked. So 4 candidates have picked so far. Now let's take it to Nigeria, where a Nigerian senatorial candidate was on Wednesday shot dead and his body burnt by attackers while on his way from a campaign rally in the southern state of Enugu. The death of Oyibo Chukwu of the Labour Party happened 3 days before Saturday's general elections, which is being described as the country's most competitive polls in 24 years. His aides who were with him were also shot dead before the Accra was set ablaze with the bodies inside, local outlets report. According to a candidate for the governor's seat in the state, Chioke Edioga, quote, "Our party members are being targeted for assassination by political parties that felt threatened by the rise of the Labour Party in the state and are afraid they may lose the Saturday's elections," end of quote. The Labour Party has not commented on the attack, but its presidential candidate, Peter Obi, has been urging supporters to vote correctly, peacefully, and hopefully. We'll take a quick break now. We'll be back with business. Stay with us.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. The Institute of ICT Professionals Ghana has indicated that it will equip the youth with employable technological skills and acquaint them with companies through its Tech Job Fair. According to Executive Director of the Institute, David Gow, the fair will provide the youth with the opportunity to build business resilience to recover from shocks and adapt to potential damaging incidents. He spoke to Joy Business at the 2023 Tech Job Fair.
Job Fair is an annual event that brings together organizations, youth, and stakeholders to explore tech roles and help the youth to acquire jobs. Executive Director of the Institute of ICT Professionals Ghana, David Gow, urged young entrepreneurs to build resilience in their business to effectively manage change and find solutions to new challenges presented by the changing world.
It's a good platform. Now, our young entrepreneurs must deploy technology in their business, and we are here as Institute of ICT Professionals to support them, to give them guidance, to give them mentors that can help them to do that. Moreover, we also think that government needs to support them. I know government has some initiatives, but we need more support. Create technology parks where they can come, have their laptops and be able to work, because office space is also very expensive. Get them tax reliefs and also soft loans that can help them develop their ideas into businesses.
The Director General of the National Information Technology Agency, Richard Ochifosu, reiterated government's commitment to supporting the development skills in technology to help the youth to acquire jobs.
To do an internship is important. Okay, internship. I once hired a young girl, first class degree holder in computer science. But when she came and worked for a bit, she realized it wasn't for her. So she left. So internship has a place. Volunteerism. I think if I'm a young person today and I don't have my own ideas of setting up a business, I can also go to a company that perhaps I like to work for and try and see whether I can offer my services as a volunteer. Trust me.
All right, that's your business update. There's more after this break.